Okay, I'm back at you with Fit America, and just have some great testimonies about America and her flag, and maybe I'll get into that in a little bit in a different video. But right now, I'd like to talk to about nutrition. I made a video before just about Fit Crunch and a couple other things. I'm trying to fill this bear barrel up I just got, and the reality of filling it is just, well, it is what it is. I got to get it in there, and I got to get it out there on the trail. So I put this big red bag full of all these Fit bars. See all these bars? I was trying to get them in this nice big red bag, but when you put it in the bear barrel, as you can see, it takes quite a lot of space, so it's not really very efficient. So don't try putting a bunch of these bags to kind of separate your meals and stuff. I was trying to separate them like for snacks and stuff like that. It still makes difference in how the barrel is packed and how it's not necessarily the weight of the bag, but how things kind of interact with each other and the shapes and stuff like that in the bucket. So I've got 4 of these here. They're Fit Crunch Met-Trex, and you've probably seen them at the convenience stores. Like I got these at Sheetz, and they're astronomically priced, I guess, in any convenience store, not just Sheetz, so don't get me wrong about Sheetz. I don't want to badmouth them, because I go there all the time, and I really like all their variety of products and stuff like that. I just don't think they're going to be all that available right near the AT. I wish they were, because they're so, they have just about everything. This is a lean muscle called a Detour. And it's a bar that's been supplemented. See if I can get, you can kind of see the supplements there. It's about 30% on just about everything. They don't typically put a whole lot of magnesium in the bar, so it's only 15%, because they typically think you're going to supplement in another way with that, like some magnesium tabs or potassium tabs, because those 2 minerals, believe it or not, are very, very important to replace while you're hiking, because they have a lot to do with endurance. And so Fit Crunch Met-Trex, the last one is the G-Bar, Recover G-Bar, and I guess it's reversed on the camera. I can't see it too well. But you'll recognize the packaging. It's pretty easy to recognize these. They're available at any convenience store. Gas station stores usually have quite a variety of these. But especially I got these at Sheetz. Okay, there's a lot of weight to this, and it's only got 20 grams, and so let's see, we'll put this on, is 85 grams. Let's see if I can turn you around. Let's look down here at the scale. And so this is 85. Fit Crunch is 89. Met-Trex is 105. It's a big boy. It's like this lean muscle, and it's also fortified. It's just fortified in the same manner. This is the lean muscle Detour, and that's 91. So there's a little bit of weight to this one, but it's not as weighty as the Metrex. That's 105, and both of these bars are 32 ounces, or 32 grams. Let's see if I can move this table around so that you can see them lined up there. This is the lean, and you can see the packaging is actually this lean muscle is weightier than the Fit Crunch. The Fit Crunch is pretty light, but you can see the difference in the packaging, that this is going to fit a bit better in my Bear Barrel. So I have to decide between the weight and whether they're fortified or not, and how much fortification I'm going to have in all my stuff. And basically, I think I'm going to go by grams to ounces and count how many ounces are in the grams, and then divide the ounces by the actual calories. So the calories make a difference, and the weight makes a difference. The more calories you come up with after the ounces are divided into the calories, then your calorie density is the highest, and that will help you fill the Bear Barrel as dense as possible with regards to calories. Typical hiker is going to use between 3,500 and 4,000 calories per day on a medium hike. There are, however, parts of the Appalachian Trail that are strenuous, and you're going to use every bit of about 6,000 calories on that day. It's probably along the lines of about 400 to 500 calories per hour just carrying your backpack. And even if you were just on flat, and you can add another couple hundred calories per medium hike per hour. So you're gonna do 8 hours of hiking. You can easily get about half of 8 hours worth, about 4,000 calories per hike. So take into consideration how long your hike is and how strenuous it is. And you can go get programs on the internet that tell you elevation calculations. You can put in their elevation, you can put in your weight, you can put in your distance that you're hiking and your level of hiking, and it can tell you about how many calories that you're going to need. So you can be pretty specific about calories and what your hike is all about and how far you're going, and all that. So there are really good resources in the AWOL guide, and I really highly recommend the AWOL guide because it has a lot of maps of each town that you're going to go through. Even if you're just section hiking or day hiking, it's a really good resource. And it has a lot of information about the vendors and things like that that are in the area, and any kind of resources that a hiker might need, that is to get in and out of a town and to resupply. So there is marked there certain resupplies, and you can check it out whether they have a full basket or a big basket, and whether you're doing a partial resupply or a full resupply. They have the post office boxes and all the addresses and stuff like that, where you can send your Bear Barrel or Bear Barrel resupply is a really better term to say. there are boxes that you can send through the post office, and the post office in these resources in the AWOL guide are expecting you to label those boxes that you're a through hiker or a hiker or section hiker, and they will automatically save it for you, I think about 21 days. But I would try to pinpoint your rate of hike and everything within about 2 to 3 days. I think that's fair. And wish me luck. I'm going to try to pack these fit crunches in with some other things. I'll be right back at you with some of the other things that I'm going to put in this bear barrel. But this is like kind of a little thing on meal bars. The other option is, if you want to, you could take powder, and powder is probably a lot lighter than these. But in reality, when you try it, you should try it out to see if you're a powder shake person. And if you're going just for like 5 days or something like that, everybody can kind of muddle through a mud, shake. You can do lots of things with it. Add honey. You can be very nutrition conscious and add plant sweeteners like stevia to it. You can do all kinds of things to kind of make it taste good. There's stuff that is kind of like powdered shortening that actually tastes a lot like milk. It tastes like cream, actually, and it's actually pretty tasty when you put it in there. It makes it very, very rich tasting, and so these powders, when you put them into Ziplocs, can be very, very space saving. I have a lot of stuff that's in Ziplocs, like emergency vitamin C. Something you guys in the nutritional hormonal part for females might like to know that whenever you're doing something very strenuous and stressful for a long period of time, your estrogen is going to take a nosedive. So you may cease your period, and you may do have all kinds of things that are associated with hormonal imbalances, including fatigue and emotional aberrancies and things like that. So one of the things that decreases your hormones are cortisol. Like a professional Olympic athlete, when you increase your athleticism, their menses is often delayed till they're like 16, 17 years old, because they have prepared for the Olympics so hard that, working 3 to 4 hours every morning before they go to school, and sometimes after school, has delayed their female progression. So, but that often helps them get that big muscle and stuff. So, but vitamin C will help you to decrease the cortisol, and the cortisol, when it decreases, will allow your hormones to recover. So I drink one of these about every day, and that's about the maximum that you're supposed to do for this particular product, because it has vitamins added to it and things, so you're not supposed to go over a certain amount. And it's great for like off-trail stuff like flu and things like that. And it's just a good all-around product for health maintenance and things like that. It is a great antioxidant and helps you. You see this stuff on my mouth here? That's because I have a cracked root that I'm struggling with, and it's really taken my a toll on my face and making my face droop here, and all. This side is much better. You can see the toll it's taken on me, and vitamin C is helping out on this side, but not on this side as much. So I'm praying about that and all that, and I'm getting all this stuff here from stuff from my teeth. So I hope to overcome that before I go on my hike. But it's kind of a religious thing too. There's a character called Kolob in the Pearl of Great Price, and it's related to that, and it's an ancient, kind of like a symbolic petroglyph, might be a better way to say it, and it's got a depiction of this character that's facing in 4 directions, kind of like this and this and this all at one time. Well, Jesus got a kiss on the cheek by Judas, right? Well, I got a kiss on the cheek. I got a abscess on my gum. So, one of the realities of, religion and becoming anointed and ordained. So, that's the kind of thing that I kind of have to go with the punches about that, because well, maybe religion and God come first, and not what I want. I want to hike the Appalachian Trail and respect my physical body. I was a nurse for a long time, and actually kind of stopped nursing because work kind of detracted from the things that I was experiencing and seeing with my religion. So I stayed home to take care of spiritual childbirth. So, yeah, pardon the effects of on my mouth here, and probably my eyes too. The scales are falling from my eyes. That's a joke with the scale here. I showed you on the Fit Crunch and stuff like that. So, anyway, enough of the personal stuff. I didn't mean to get so much into religion, but it kind of has to do with vitamin C, and that can help you until it can help mitigate some of these effects, and help your estrogen when you're working really hard on the trail. So it can also erase a lot of the evidence. So there's a controversy about using medication and stuff like that, but it's kind of a decision you got to make about your own balance, about whether how far you want to fall in your physicality, and how much you want to kind of preserve of the spiritual testimony and your health and stuff like that. So that's why a lot of people like Jehovah's Witness and stuff like that don't even believe in things like blood transfusions and things like that. It's kind of based on that principle. Alright, so Ziplocs can be your friend. They can form a little like water and intermix with everything. Your powders and everything that, these protein powders come in these big buckets, or they come in packets and stuff like that. Just put them in Ziploc bags, because they are less bulky and they will conform with each other. The packets of powder will condense down. Now you have to think about when you put a Ziploc bag full of powder. I'm trying to open this bag so I can show you. Having a little bit of difficulty. Okay, here it comes. This is a Propel, And this is a drink straw, so you can just tear it open very easily while you're standing there on the trail and put it in your cup. It's advisable to take some kind of form of drinking apparatus. A Camelback is something that you can put in the back of your backpack, and it has a long tube and comes around, and you can drink from off of that, but they don't recommend that you put anything in there but water. So most backpacks are having side pockets, and you can put one of these in there. A lot of people are using just simple water bottles, and the drink straw is so narrow that it can go into the head of a water bottle. But if you want to take protein, you have to have a little bit wider mouth kind of thing. You have to consider things like heat. If you want to take a hot chocolate or a hot item in the wintertime with you, don't get one that's water, cold water only, because this is what happens. It kind of melts it. This is a Planet Fitness bottle that I kind of destroyed by melting it. I know it's difficult to see, but it has a very large top and now has a very small body. And the bottle is probably about a third the size that it was when I got done putting the boiling water in there. I forgot to pay attention to that when I bought it, whether it was allowed to be cold water or not. So it's still usable, and I kind of use it at home. And the nipple thing is kind of sort of easy to bring up and down, but not really. And it's secure when you put it in the pack, because the treads on this are incredible, and it's pretty reliable if you screw it on the right way. But when you sip out of this, it doesn't have an air hole, so you have to stop and let the air go back in there. It has to do with the vacuum of the bottle. So pay attention to that, if it has a vacuum or not, and whether you can stand the suck and bubble kind of thing. It just makes a lot of noise and a thud when you drink it. Hear the kind of thing. I got a lot of powder in here from the vitamin C. It's kind of concentrated at the end of the bottle, but yeah, that's kind of like you kind of want a bottle that's got a little bit of a way to hold on to it, either when you're taking it out of the side pocket, or if you want to put it on your pack. Want to clip it onto your pack, it's got to be clipped onto something like this to put around it, or to clip it on, something like that. So you have to have some kind of a narrow thing or some grippy thing to both grip it and to apply it wherever you're going to apply it. Okay, so they make all kinds of water bottles and stuff like that, but a lot of people just buy a Gatorade when they go in there, and it's this size, about this size. They use smart water bottles that are the narrow, small size, but they fit the Sawyer Squeeze. And this tends to, I think, fit a Be-Free. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't tried it yet, but so you have the narrow mouth and the wide mouth thing. The Sawyer Squeeze fits on the smart water bottles that you see at Walmart. And you can learn how to get the little adapter for the Sawyer Squeeze that works with the bottle, so you don't have to have the syringe to back flush it. The Sawyer Squeeze does a pretty good job. I've tested it out here at home, and it squeezes. It's not something that you actually take and squeeze, but the bag itself you squeeze, and it's pretty cool. Like it's got the filtering capacity like a renal dialysis, and can filter an incredible amount of water, like 100,000 gallons or 100,000 liters. I'm not entirely sure, but the thing is that it's pretty good, but it doesn't necessarily take care of viruses. Now, if you're one that's hiking the PCT, where there's higher elevations and things like that, it's very cold and very crisp, and there's not as much viral problems up there as there are in the lower elevations on the Appalachian Trail. There's problems with neurovirus and things like that the Sawyer Squeeze is said does not take out. So a lot of people are, in addition to filtering, are boiling, or they're boiling and not filtering. Or they're using Aquamira, which has some things. You have to wait 30 minutes, I think. And I think there's some products where you have to wait as long as 4 hours for it to be able to actually kill the Giardia and the Cryptosporidium. And the accuracy of its working depends a lot on the temperature of the water. If the water is real cold, it's not as accurate. So they can't use as much, can't rely as much on the accuracy of those things, water treatment in really cold glacier-like water. So at higher elevations, there's, I think you use more fuel. And so anyway, back to the water vessel that you're going to choose. It should be if you're going to take powder, you're going to have to figure out how to get the powder in here. And a typical water bottle has a very small hole, and if you try to do it, you're going to feed all the little mices on the trail. And there's also a very big problem already about that. And so Mr. Natural Nature Ranger would like you to leave no trace, and that means no powder all over the place. So think about that when you are considering what type of water bottle you would like to take with you. I think there are ways to put your powder in a straw form. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I think that there are places like hiker gear stores and stuff like that sell it. I just have not been able to come up with the right terminology to get it up on Google. So I kind of like the idea of powders, but I can only have so much of that kind of powder shake before I get powdered out. And I know that if I go on the Appalachian Trail or something, I'm going to want to have something that is going to give me a little bit of a break. So that's why, in a nutshell, actually it was longer than a nutshell. I'm sorry, I got pretty wordy about this and making a kind of a long video about it, but that's why I wanted to make Fit Crunches, you know, a little bit of a part of my hike. And these other bars also. Because these are pretty much the big guys of the bars. ProBar makes some meal bars, but they're not as, I'm not entirely sure if they have as much protein. They may have 20 grams of protein, but the meal bars tend to give calories as well. These have some calories. Let's see. Like I said, check the calorie density. This does have 420 calories, so this does make a pretty good meal. ProBar goes up to about 360 on their meal bars, and so they're about 3 or 4 as far as calorie densities are concerned. The Clif bars I have right here, I kind of like the chocolate macadamia nut one the best, and so I have all chocolate macadamia nuts. I'm a chocolate fiend. I love chocolate, and so that's something that I know will always interest me. Excuse me. That will always interest me in the category of food and hiking. Anyway, this is only about 260 calories per bar, but they're made with grains and oats and stuff like that, so this is an excellent bar that kind of is your take it out of the pack and go in the morning bar. If you don't want to mess around with your stove and heat up water to cook oatmeal or eggs in a packet kind of thing, you know, the backpacker meal, then you take a Clif bar and you just go. 2 of these is the same as like a Fit Crunch or something like that, and I don't know, a Fit Crunch to me, or a Met bar, or any of these bars tends to make me think of either a recovery at night or a snack as I'm going, like about 10 o'clock or something like that. You go about 6 or 6:30, and you know, up with the sun and get out with a Clif bar. So I think that's why I like them the best. There's a natural grain